Beard here, playing more Avowed on Xbox Game Pass. We've got the access into the garden now. Also got a little bit of food.
What? This?
Some kids are gun at us. That should do it. Pow, pow, pow.
Invaders in the garden.
Oh, pick out!
What's that guy doing hiding around, huh? Oh, man. See, that one has a dream zone. These ones are regular. Shouldn't go poking your head around like that.
I was worried for a second.
Yeah.
Treacherous weed!
Take that, bucko.
We've been doing
See!
That's what you get, sir. Get out of town. There's more loot down here than there was in half the desert.
Yeah.
What's it underneath? Get that. Whatever. What's up over here?
Feed them to the earth.
They're kind of crazy. Loaded. You dare challenge me? No jingle jangles.
We're on the right track. I can tell because it's extremely dangerous.
Fear in the eyes. We've got company.
What do you like that? Oop.
Shadows.
Close.
Coming to the left.
Scoop. Gotcha. Booted.
We've got company.
Alright, that's how you do that. Big goops. That's where we need to go. Man, another one of these guys, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Take that. And we're back on track. Another one of those guys. It must be my brethren. Brethren? However you say it. Seems like it. Well,
I've dreamt of exploring Nagakubel for years. To find out what happened to the godless who built this and why they vanished. Hopefully an abundance of history, artifacts, relics, anything really. Though I wasn't expecting such interesting remains.
We found something like this in Naku Tadak. What's their significance?
These are magfolk. They're often found in many godless ruins, but they are definitely not godless. Oh, they're everywhere. But no one knows where they came from, exactly. Apparently, they weren't fans of the godless. Godless ruins are filled with magfolk remains, but no records of them exist in Akedan lore. I don't think the godless did well against the magfolk.
They seem to be killing machines. But who made them? And to what end?
They fierce. Blood like a fountain. No quarter. Nothing spared.
Poor dear. I can only imagine what they saw, what they know, what they've suffered. Anything of historic importance is often blood-soaked. Are you ready? We're entering one of their holiest places. Who knows what we'll find? Okay. Got my wand, got my grimoire. Let's go already. Avik, Worthan, Roth.
cool beans.
We remember. They loved, and we loved in return.
Wow. Summer loving. Really, it's desert loving, isn't it?
We remember. They loved, and we loved in return.
Well struck.
Thank you. So serious.
We see you.
memorable to me. Not every day you get to see that, folks. Alright. Oh, poisoned. Damn it. There we go. Booyakasha.
That's done. Child's play.
Knock, knock.
Oh, look at that Audra. What else might be here?
The heart of the Akita beats. Our veins stir. You are close. Seek the ancient kith who dwell here. They will show you the way.
Okay. Hey, I'm looking for a guy named Keith.
An intruder comes.
That's a ghost.
Hey, in a minute.
You don't belong here. Why have you come? What business do you have in this place? Tell me, before I strike you down. And the gardener. Of course, they'd seek more souls to help them.
The gardener. That must be how the ancient Akidans referred to their god, to stop it all.
I am Numena, Tebaro Senakis, and guardian of the Akita and the living lands.
Hey.
They came swarming, relentless, these juggernauts. So many they stole the heat from the stars. They brought death to our temples. They brought doom to our king. And the sky held no sun as our children screamed.
Oh, I know this. You speak of the Magfolk.
Yes, Story Seeker. Their corpses remain, as do our memories of what they did to us. After our gardener? If so, I've learned so much. Our words were burned. Our buildings were broken. Anything that was of Akita, they destroyed.
Oh no.
That's why there are no records, no histories.
We fought so hard, but we fell too. Then they trapped our gardener.
Trapped. The sepulchre of endless night. Bones beneath roots. Stop this. No one answers. The light, it blinded us. Why were we so afraid?
The gardener quickens. This hastens our fears. The gardener was afraid, yes. They were terrified. That was all they saw.
All they saw.
Death hungers and cannot be sated. That which killed the Akita wants more slaughter still. So our gardener calls then, begging one more time to be set free.
We wait. They know. They understand. Why do they hinder you?
When the gardener calls, there is no turning away. But you will prove yourself to us through a series of trials. Survive these trials, and you will know the way to the garden. First is a trial of strength. Demonstrate your might against our ancient dead, and earn the right to face the second.
Okay.
You saw. Yes, she was tested. She was trained to build and lead. But she fell, as did all the cities of my people when the Magfolk came. Go now. Your trials begin.
Okay.
We just spoke to an ancient Akedan.
She's losing her mind. That's gotta be the second trial. It's gotta be the third trial. That's the way we came in. That's a cracking nothing. And that would be death. Alright, well, on to the first trial. Knock, knock.
If you insist.
Don't think we don't know how to read a map. Don't go stabbing our magic lady.
Think about bone dust in my fur.
That's done? Who's hungry?
This lady's always hungry, isn't she? Absolutely wild. Well. Oop.
That ghost called you a Tebaru Sanakis. That must be what the Akita called their goblins. This mural looks idyllic, doesn't it? Sapadal is helping the Akidans grow and flourish. They seem happy.
Let's keep it that way, huh? Secret switch.
Keep quiet.
What's the left?
somewhere. And a healer. What's this guy doing?
I'll have to do a more thorough reading later, but it looks like notes from the architect. It seems nothing he does is survive. So it's Sabadon's fault we got lost earlier.
Okay. Very well. Yep, just another one. Thank you. Nothing. Let's head right back down. Come on down to Catfish Cabin.
Nice of them to give us a little break, isn't it?
Gathering their strength. We should do the same.
On your left here!
Gotcha. Who's left? Bro, why can't I hit you? Gotcha. Rooted.
Nicely done!
Alright, what do you think about that, huh? Full-on friendship. Is that everything over here? I think so. Got a secret door.
That's the last of it. So much for the first trial. On to the second.
That's the way we gotta go. How do we get this door open now? Oh, that's the way we came in. I'm gonna close behind us. Spooky. Okay, trial 1 has been completed.
Look! Now we've got another door open.
That's the way they
And
want us
another
to go, though.
ghost. Have a chance, Scout.
Booted. Booted once more. Booted again. Ah, with a bootmeister. There's another visual glitch. Weird that keeps happening, huh?
Looks as though no one's been in here. At least not with pruning shears.
So this is the main entrance. We just never went all the way forward. What was that? Is that the sound of a jingle jangle? Hello again, Miss Lady.
Another stranger.
Oh, it's a dude.
You have the gardener's markings, but you are not one of us.
And
You
no.
did not fall with us. Why have you come here? Tell me your mind. Tell me what rides in it. Do you know what our gardener did when they were sought last? The Magfolk sought the gardener too, and our gardener did not want to be found.
Well,
Our gardener knew what the Magfolk would do, and they broke the world to keep themselves safe. The waters boiled, the land opened, the rivers rose, and we drowned.
We broke the pain. We died with them. How did we do this? We bleed, they bleed, the Magfolk strike. How could we pierce the vein? We cannot, we writhe. Why must we feel this again?
huh.
There were so few of us left when the Magfolk were at our doors. could you know of this? Yes, her ways are strange and volatile, and you will need to show wisdom to navigate them. Their ways are not the ways of people. You want a path to the garden? Pass this trial of the mind. Show me how clever you are. We will know the breadth of your wisdom before we let you learn what our gardener truly is.
Okay.
Whatever gets us answers must be worth it, right?
Right.
A trial of the mind. I wonder if there's a clever trick to it.
I think step one is don't jump in the poison water. Probably step one, right?
We are nearly free now.
Oh, just find the right rhythm and we'll be through in a flash.
That. First try.
Yeah.
Oop. Skip.
Yeah.
These ghosts are very helpful.
The dead should not keep secrets, unless they resent the living.
Perhaps they're just unused to visitors. Surely they'll warm up to us eventually.
Damn it. Look at that. Oh, come on, man.
Oh, flame traps are the worst. I've lost so many blouses to them.
There's the head. Two sides of the same coin.
This just seems Let's slow down a bit. That should make things easier.
So there's no down below. Ow. Oh, that just leads to there. Back inside.
The Echidans are being less welcome than I'd hoped. Judging by this mural, the relationship the Echida had with their god was complicated. for Naku Kubel itself. Third time's the charm. Another door is revealed.
Yep.
You bear our god. Somehow, you've proven to have strength and wit.
Thank you.
We now see what you represent. We know the truth of you. We cannot risk you causing another calamity. You know of this. Nimana's brethren were mistaken. But we would know what's best for our gardener. We understand what they are.
Bad toothache.
No more words. You have not earned the right. Finish your last trial. You come as a supplicant. You do not have the privilege of questions. Go.
Of course, these trials require a leap of faith.
Okay. That's it. Bummer. It's Advil for this toothache.
You bear our gardener's mark.
The gardener has grown roots into the Outlander.
What do you truly seek with our god?
This is... Oh. Well, seems like some of the construction... and crew had all kinds of fun. The fur...
Alright, we gotta do some pain management. We will be right back before we get to the dialogue.
Somehow you bested our trials. Like vermin, you persist.
Like vermin, you endured. You kept your head.
You live where worthier souls have fallen, but your journey ends here.
Soil hardens. Hesitation. Why do we smell fear? They are here to be found. Why? Why will they not free us?
Why, oh why? Squiggly line in my eye.
This is where you die, Outlander. We cannot risk you provoking the Gardener and causing another calamity.
So all that work we did, all that work.
So, we will not have another calamity in this land again.
If you are as noble a creature as you claim, you will let your bones rest here with ours.
Can't, we already sold our dead body.
Now, lay your life down. We will all rest quietly. The Gardener
I don't know about
will
that.
not be disturbed.
How do I know you will not lead them astray? And you will guide them from the dark? I worry I will regret this, but I shall stand aside. Let the other two be your opponents.
Protect the onward. Someone's eager to
Gotta go. Done. There's two left, sir. Another trial? Trial of might, baby girl.
Second time?
Oh, and it looks like we got a prize on the table over there. Let's take a look, shall we?
Who's next?
Hey, 21.
Anyone?
Thank you. What's over here?
Never seen a Keating device like this. These mechanisms, they mark the locations of important sites. It's a map.
Ever closer. We must speak of this.
A map? I can't believe it survived all these years. Just waiting for the right hands to pick it up again.
Perfect. I need time to translate this anyway.
Hey. Ranga's clarity, intellect and perception.
There's so much rage in this mirror. The Sarpedal must have been furious, and the Akedans unfortunate bystanders.
It's not easy being a god.
Envoy, your god wants a chat.
Come, we yearn for answers.
Okay. What up, though?
You are here. You heard us in the roots. You seek the garden. You know the way. But the Tabaru Sinakis, they turn from you. How can this be? Surely they would welcome you as kin, grafted from the same root. As painful as a wound reopened, yes.
Well, damn.
We were theirs and they were ours, and we told them to protect the wild and the green. In return, we promised to protect them, and we were true. Always, we protected them.
Let's be nice. We're doing
We will not remember. Do not question us. Blame slips between the bones like a blade. We lived in harmony. We were at peace, and then they came with metal bodies and murderous intent. We tried to stop them. We did not want them to die. We loved them. We tried. We loved them so much. We did not cause pain. The spirits lie. We love them most. They twist our words. We will show you. Let us offer you another gift. A seedling of power. We will show you our favor. Wait. An intruder. The piercing light. She draws near.
Oh, it's gonna be Lodwin.
The wire. A razor in our throat. Stop her! We writhe. We bleed. She brings the purging fire at her back. She comes to trap us. Out! Out! Set her out! Set us free!
Wake up! Wake up!
What's up?
What happened? Are you all right? What did you do?
While you were unconscious, the Adra pillar was not. A great deal of energy passed through it, to parts unknown.
You can't hear all the dream thralls trying to get in now. What happened with Stop It All? Once we get past all these dream thralls, I'll be excited to see what scares a god. They're flooding the area, so I think it's a great time to leave. Now! The map points us to Gallowayne's tusks. We'll find the way to the garden there. We just have to find a godless tower on the southern coast, and boom! There's our entrance into the garden.
Alright.
We should talk to Marius. He knows the tusks better than anyone. Until then, we must ready ourselves for a fight.
Get off me! Look out! much as I hate to leave, get out of here before more dreams. It's getting a little crowded. We should go.
Is this endless? think that was a constant, non-stop enemy. Let's get rid of the poison. I'm just gonna go back. Go. Steel Garou.
Big mistake!
Loaded.
Bravo!
Some stew. Steel Garou.
Let's finish this.
Gotcha. That was a hearty stomp right there.
You are out of Inquisitor. Flee, or you worsen the situation.
Ruins.
Hey, Inquisitor, you ready to fight or what?
Envoy, I hope you found what you were looking for. Because those ruins are about to be a distant memory. And the Dream Scourge. Yet you walked away unscathed. Fascinating. This is a spring from which the Dream Scourge flows, injecting poison into the veins of the island.
No, a cleansing fire. Poison or cure?
The same poison that spread to Fior Messiverna, and even now rots the city from within.
The only poison I see here is you, and I would love nothing more than to purge you from the living lands.
Charming. Stand by my side, and we can strike a blow at the Dream Scourge. And at Sapadal. We'll see about it. I've been watching you, Envoy. You, who survived when so many godlike fell. I even asked the gods what made you so remarkable. And the Burned Queen opened my eyes to what you are. We knew the chaos of the living lands had an origin. How could I have known that you were its offspring? Different wars on the same battlefield. There are two plagues in the living lands. Help me destroy one, and the other will follow.
Ashes! Nothing of the Akita will remain.
We may not burn out the Dream Scourge here, but we can burn out its symptoms and take the fight to your patron.
Spirits cry out, bury the fire, but still they rage.
Is her first instinct always to destroy stuff and hope that fixes things?
Always thinking with your sword. You zealots never change. I happen to like these ruins. They've been very informative. Without them, I'd never have learned there was a new god in the living lands.
Another reason why they should be destroyed. Sapadal is dangerous, but an archmage is more unpredictable by far.
I do love it when people choose to listen to reason. I have an alternate solution to the problem at hand.
This should be amusing.
I am not talking to you, am I? Don't interrupt me. Don't make me separate your skin from your muscle. I can sever the connection between the Adra in the ruins and the rest of the living lands. It will isolate the dream-scourged essence and halt the creation of new dream thralls in Shatterscarp. But those that exist will remain. My solution will end the plague in this region, I believe, and keep Ludwig from having to do terrible things to those nice ruins.
Alright, well, let's do that.
Why, indeed.
Probably because I wasn't invested before. Regardless, there's something I must confess. Severing the Adra will require the use of a truly immense amount of essence, which, well, will result in a few deaths.
Gentle sleep. One moment day, the next, a poppy's dream to carry them to the Garden of Night. They would feel no pain.
I'm so very glad you recall.
Well, in layman's terms, she's going to rip the essence out of a bunch of people in Shatterscarp. For what it's worth, her theory is sound. She could stop the Dream Scourge. In Shatterscarp, at least.
There is no control over who will perish in the process. But it will stop the Dream Scourge from spreading in Shatterscarp. No new Dream Thralls will be created.
That seems pretty good.
I once thought of pursuing such an idea, but only after careful study. What she suggests is anything but careful.
It's not an ideal solution. But it is easier to save a life when you've amputated the necrotic limb, so to speak.
You surprise me, Envoy. She would sacrifice the very people we're trying to save, and for what? Not even to destroy the Dream Scourge. Merely to slow it down.
Destroying the ruins and killing the Dream Thralls within is also a short-term measure. Ludwig's solution will eventually result in the same number of casualties, possibly even more. If only the Inquisitor was as astute as you. Regardless, you're correct. So long as the Dream Scourge exists, more people will become infected. And the infected will take more lives, and this will continue indefinitely.
She has no idea what the consequences of her actions might be.
Yeah, but she's still nicer than
And
you,
neither
lady.
do you.
Come on.
Envoy, I want to show you something.
Skeleton. Boom, called it.
I swore an oath to my goddess. A solemn vow that I would give everything in service to her. Even myself. And I did so, gladly. Zapadal wants the same devotion from you. The only difference is, you never had a choice. The mask is my true face. My covenant with my goddess. The obligation I chose. Huh. Look at the consequences of their stewardship. Plague, calamity, death. The Living Lands deserves better. Envoy, we have an obligation to scour Zapadal from the Living Lands before they destroy us. Starting with these ruins. Whatever you do, make sure the decision is yours, not theirs. Zapadal will poison your judgment if you let them. You owe Zapadal nothing, and yet they demand everything. That is not devotion. It's cruel.
What an amateur. She accuses Zapadal of what she intends to inflict on you. Don't fall for it.
Yes, quite difficult to decide whether to believe your new god or the angry skeleton actively threatening us.
Godlike. I leave the choice to you. Both options will bring harm. The question is, which will bring more good? Perhaps not. But one of these solutions will bring an end to the matter in Shatterscarp. Remember the village and the statue it couldn't repair. Remember the lesson I tried to teach you. None of our lives matters. Not when they might cost us the future. Now choose, Envoy. Destroy the ruins and the Dream Thralls, but allow the plague to keep spreading. Or sever the Adra and end the plague in Shatterscarp, with an unknowable number of casualties.
She toys with you with innocent lives, while I offer only the truth.
Good people die either way. But severing the Adra shortens their suffering, I hope.
Breaking the Adra is a bold choice, but it's such a terrible cost. If only we had time to do it with some finesse. Then again, it's not as if I trust Ludwig. The dead have no right to choose for the living. I'm at a loss. Whatever you do, make sure you believe in it, because there's no going back.
Oh, what a relief. You really scared me there, Envoy.
I don't like our options, but maybe we can learn something from this one.
Yeah.
So be it. Zapadal's hold over you is stronger than I suspected.
Rune, strengthen the living leaves. We twine.
Attune your soul to Zapadal to assist my focus on the Adra. You're the only one who can do that part. And Yatsley, come, help me. I think you'll enjoy this. Marins of Clathan, Aid Marslante.
Awesome.
God.
Now that I know this was all because of a new god flailing in their cage, the Living Lands is no longer of interest to me. Another god. One is more aberrant than another. Does it really matter? But that is for you to wrestle with. I'm done here. However, I have one final question for your young wizard.
For... me?
You have shown a great deal of talent, Yatsley. Few can harness so much essence with ease. I could use your assistance. And the companionship. It's really dreary being alone. Should you wish to return with me, I would happily take you on as my apprentice. The rest of the circle do not often visit, which is good because they're tiresome. You, however, are a power worth shaping, and rather delightful to boot.
Well, obviously, I'm... Wait. Really? You want me to... Wow. That would be... amazing! But, I have to think about it. At the very least, the envoy would be lost without me. And so would my lover. Though the idea of finally devoting more time to magic is... tempting.
I very rarely take on an apprentice, and I have near infinite patience. The offer will stand. Don't worry. My work will still be here when you're done with your godlike's quest. Whatever you decide, it will be some months before I depart. You know where to find me. Be clever, godlike. Don't think too much with your heart.
Why are we deferring to that maniac Ringgrim?
I don't trust this heathen.
What is done is done. Do not waste your breath justifying it to me. Countless innocent lives cut short. Even my own soldiers. And for what? Make no mistake. There will be a reckoning for the chaos you unleashed here.
Yeah, like in
At
Fior
least
when you
now
tried
I
to
have a
burn the
better
town
idea
down, you
of who
crazy
is
lady.
pulling your strings. It frightens me how well they've convinced you. Envoy, need I remind you why the Emperor sent you? To burn out a threat at any cost. To impose order where chaos reigns. If you and Heelgard are too spineless to remember your allegiance, I'll have to finish the job myself. All I wanted to do was protect Shatterscarp. Give it the chance that Fior Messiverno did not have. Unusual, isn't it? How you spared one settlement and condemned another. Not fast enough to outpace what is coming for them.
You're what's
You
coming.
underestimated us from the beginning. It was a mistake then, and it is a mistake now.
A word of warning, Envoy. You and I are running out of opportunities to save the Living Lands from itself. I allowed you to dictate the terms of this meeting. I won't make that mistake twice. Your impudence has been noted. One more thing, Envoy. I know what happened to Captain Alfear. You fought valiantly, and she fell in disgrace. But now you have a debt to the Steel Garrote. And one day, I will collect it.
What a vile, intolerant creature.
This magic makes my skin twitch.
Well, how much cash we got? Probably got got enough to go get another piece, right? Let's try and buy the last Audra over here.
I just have to make it back. One step at a time.
Well, where's the merchant at? Sword gunner's coming for you.
Hey, over here. I've got...
Nothing.
Well enough. Sure, it seemed like the land itself was out to get me, but I'm at... It is, I'll admit. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to make my way to the Tusks. Now is not the time to start taking... Would it? I'd rather be out in the open than trapped behind walls. If they get besieged by dream thralls again, there's nowhere to go.
It is very
At
true.
least this way, I have plenty of escape routes available in case something wants to make me its meal. Gods watch over you, envoy.
Hey, over here. I've got supplies for sale.
Now we just gotta go around the corner over to here. Come on. Kidding.
I'll give...
Boom. We got it all. Man, that's not what we wanted. That's what we wanted. Come on now.
We need to talk. You let a mad archmage unleash death with a spell. I need to... So because you don't trust her, you'll throw your lot in with something clearly worse?
You saw what she tried to do to my home. Do you think she'll be merciful to yours?
Ludwig's a monster. But how can you say Ringram's any less of one?
Ringrim knows more about the Dream Scourge than we do, and we know more than most others do. She found a great solution, but it came with a great cost. What more could we expect?
Do you hear yourself? You both saw what kind of person she is. The twisted little world she built for herself. If ending the Dream Scourge means handing our fate to someone like her, then perhaps it's not worth the cost.
Kai, let's be honest. None of us are walking away from this with a clean conscience. But unless someone makes the tough decisions, the Dream Scourge will kill us all. Or worse. That means living with our nightmares. Embracing them if we must.
Right. Getting killed by monsters is one thing, but turning into one...
stand here bickering while the solution is just over the horizon? Nothing matters but the garden. Shatterscarp, even Emerald Stair. They're distractions by comparison.
Man, he was pissed, huh?
Never thought I'd be going back to Galawain's tusks.
Relax.
We need one more. Damn.
We won't embarrass you too much.
Let me guess. You burned some bridges on your way out, and now we have to cross them.
Think whatever you want. I just don't.
How could they? Beloved that you are, and still they bared their fangs. We blessed the Tabaru Sinakis, and they prick us in return. Blood on the wire. Roots like a wall. We only meant to protect. We thrashed against the blinding light to keep the Akita safe.
Yep.
We never wanted this. So many seedlings lost. We grieved, but we saved many.
Okay.
The burned queen. She hurt us, hurt our people. She did this. Yet still the branches swipe. We mourn, we could not be to blame. They should have shared our love. Their spite? This we could not foresee. But you are here. A
Well,
green
damn.
shoot after the fire. You would not raise your hand against us. The blossom of trust, a hand as soft as the breeze. Sleep now. Dream of golden poppies on the road ahead.
Let's go check this out.
Did you hear about Naguno? They found him dead in the lighthouse.
The old guy? From the swordfish? No kidding.
Someone snuck up there when he was sleeping and...
Damn! Wonder what he did to deserve that.
I bet it was spies that got him.
Tyrann spies?
Who needs
Did I
fabric?
tell you how they almost made him a citizen once?
You're thinking he knew too much.
Oh, you're back. We're just a bit overwhelmed right now. Apparently. Okay, well, don't do it again unless you got something to show me.
We're gonna give him a pass since his brother's dead and everything.
Strange to see so few folks around. I'll have to raise prices to account for the loss.
36 dead, of no apparent causes. They just fell over. Like their hearts were stopped in their chest.
Bummer.
What did you do, Envoy? I know you're involved somehow. Sacrifices? Is that what you want to call it? Such a pretty word for so much death.
Well, really, what else would it
Dozens
be?
are dead, Envoy. Their loved ones scream for them. What was all this for? The costs were too great, Envoy. And you paid them with third-born blood. I hope your fucking decisions haunt you forever. You've cost so many families their loved ones. You have my permission to go anywhere else. Get out of my sight, Envoy.
You don't even get it, lady.
It's strange to see so few folks around now. I'll have to raise
Tell her, Daika. Huh. Guess we're going here for dialogue. What up, Kai?
When you were out in the Shark's Teeth, you didn't happen to find a badge belonging to Tama, did you? Reminds me of old times. Long marches under the desert sun. Scouting runs through sandstorms so thick we had to tie our tunics over our mouths. Those were good days. And Tama, he'd wake us up before dawn with the most off-key singing you've ever heard and a pot of burnt merc brew. He kept us marching until we had sand in every orifice you can think of, and a few you didn't know you had. Just when it felt like we were gonna collapse, he'd call it and we'd make camp. And somehow, we'd all find the energy for a few rounds of cards or songs or stories. He did. About what? He's gone. Talking won't bring him back. Because I'm a glutton for punishment? Here's the truth. I led a patrol. We were ambushed. Tama came to our rescue. And he suffered a fatal wound in the process. No. He hung on. He was the color of an eel's belly. The stubborn bastard made it all the way back to Thirdborn. We got him a sickbed, but we knew he didn't have long. I wish I could believe that. You ever had to watch someone fade away? When it's slow and agonizing? No glory. No din of
That's
battle.
a bummer, Kai.
No distractions. Then you know. It's like sitting still while someone drags rusty nails over your skin. Sitting there, I noticed that he was missing his badge. And all the time I'd known him, I'd never seen him take it off. He comes to our rescue, and in the process, he loses the thing that marks him as a soldier. I'm sorry, Envoy. I haven't talked about this in a while. I never thought I'd tell this story again. But there's something about the way you've led us, the clarity you've kept. Something about you that inspires confidence. Kind of like well, there's just one last thing I've got to do. There's a memorial site with some cairns on the cliffs east of Thirdborn. One of those cairns is Thomas. It's time I said goodbye. I actually think he would have liked a spot on the cliffs overlooking the sea. I hope so, anyway. Let's get some rest. Thirdborn. If it weren't for the Leviathan skeleton in the middle of town, I'd hardly recognize the place. 6 years ago. Feels longer now. You ever come back to a place and feel like the buildings are smaller and the colors are duller? Thirdborn was always this rugged oasis.
It doesn't seem much like an
dangerous
oasis,
and out
bro.
of
It
the way,
seems like a
but
fucking
bursting
desert.
with vitality. It was a harbor for larger-than-life types. People like Capo, the Leviathan Slayer, and Tama. Glory seekers, trophy hunters, warriors trying to leave their battles behind. People who built around their stories and their scars. Being back, it felt like we were watching Thirdborn die a slow death. Yeah, but I thought age was supposed to bring wisdom. Something to balance out the back pains and creaky knees. I think what's eating at me is that Thirdborn seems rudderless. The Dream Scourge is one threat. Conflict with Adir is another. The Living Lands is changing, and Thirdborn feels like a barnacle on a moving ship. Temerity's leading them as best she can, but towards what? What are we doing out here besides surviving? Not sure which idea makes me more uneasy. What about you? You were sent by your emperor to investigate the Dream Scourge.
What a set of chompers.
Since then, you've died, met a secret god, and gotten swept up in tensions between your empire and our scattered settlements. You brought Egwolf to Adiran justice, but then you thwarted the Steel Garrote's attack on Fjord. Do you know what you're sailing towards, or are you drifting with the tides? That kind of clarity is rare. Your Emperor's lucky to have you. Thanks for talking. I hope Thirdborn is able to find its way somehow. Where to start? It's a huge desert full of sandy wastes, canyons, and highlands.
Whole lot of dialogue.
On a clear day, you
folks.
can stand at one of the overlooks to gaze straight across the Great Sand Sea and see no end to the dunes. Yeah. It's dangerous and stark. A lot like Rawatai, but in a different way. Sandstorms instead of typhoons. Guess that's part of what I liked about it. Familiar, but different. The story goes that a lot of the first arrivals were Rawataians without other prospects. Too low on the ladder to take over the family trade, too poor to learn another. Exactly. Rawatai's an inhospitable environment, to say the least, so my people have a proud tradition of seeking
What a
our
sick
fortunes
insult.
elsewhere.
Thirdborn.
Rawatai's got a big navy that always needs fresh blood, and there are plenty of opportunities for large, colorful mercenaries and bodyguards all over Aora. Of course not. We've also got poets, artisans, scholars, traders, you name it, just like anywhere else. But they're not the ones who built Thirdborn. It started as a convenient harbor for pirates and mercs to lie low.
Love it.
Bold, or desperate, fishing crews from Rawatai would follow seasonal catches out here. That tells you something about the people willing to attempt it. Over time, those early arrivals built huts, a proper harbor, and walls to protect them from all the hungry things in the desert. Well, that brought in a steady trickle of veterans, ruffians, trophy hunters, and rugged eccentrics. People looking for fresh adventure, or running from the consequences of their old ones. Your words, not mine. I've got a lot of memories here. And the longer I stayed away, the harder it felt to come back. Harder than I thought. Thirdborn's missing a lot of familiar faces. And the youngsters who've grown up and the new arrivals, they seem green. Like they're cut from a different cloth, a more delicate one.
This plague is tearing everything apart at the seams. Healing may take years, if not generations.
Maybe you're both right. Thirdborns only survived because the people were tougher than the wilds. I just hope the people living behind those walls know how to keep them standing. I'd never met Naoki. Asui arrived a few months before I left Thirdborn. I knew their squad mates better. Uriki was a ship's carpenter with the Rawatai Navy years ago. Came from a military family, but she never saw much combat herself. Manu was a deckhand on a pirate ship. Stopped in Thirdborn with his crew to resupply and never left. I don't think piracy suited him. Kiri, he was a sweet kid. Born shipboard to a mercenary captain who left him here and never came back. For the longest, I thought that was for the best. Me too. Most of all, I'm sorry I wasn't here to better prepare
World's
them.
smallest island.
This wasn't your
they're
fault.
pirates.
They just weren't ready.
Because there weren't enough seasoned soldiers to train them. The Thirdborn's in dire straits if they're sending people like this out to patrol. If you can believe it. I didn't think it was possible to talk them down, but you managed it. And you saved more than their foolish hides. Those two fought for Rawatai in the Jetfire. They learned how to disrupt enemy movements and destroy supply lines. They'd have nipped and poked at your comrades at Eagle's Reach until Adir finally snapped back. At Thirdborn, most likely. All while the two of them remained secure and defended in their tower. Nor I, but this goes beyond defense. Thirdborn's under threat, but if loose cannons like them fire at everything that moves, they'll draw even more trouble to our walls.
They lash out like cornered animals, giving the Steel Garrote a reason to fight back. Not that they need a reason.
Still, better not to give them one. Or the full force of the Adiran army, if it came to that. You and I both know the Living Lands is changing. We've got more ships coming to port every year. If it's not Adir, it'll be someone. He'd just given up, and we let him do it. He still had time, and he should have held on to every minute of it. For Chico's sake, if nothing else. Capo owed them a proper goodbye, instead of just slipping away like that. Got lost in thought. Forget I said anything. You're asking me? Okay, who do you want? You know, just when I was thinking our little group was getting too solemn and serious, we met her.
She is.
I'm
a
not so sure about the new
Spitfire,
friend
isn't
she's
she?
making. Ringram's a dangerous maniac, and I don't like the influence she has over Yardsley. And I couldn't believe how ready she was to sacrifice Shatterscarp as part of that Archmage's spell. I'm still shaking that one off, to be honest. But she keeps things interesting and keeps us on our toes. What's more, she's a good friend to Giada. And Giada's a good influence on her. Yeah, and both of those subjects fly way over my head. I prefer dealing with things I can see and make sense of. I just hope she keeps some part of herself grounded with the rest of us.
Yeah.
She's brilliant, but I worry that the real-world consequences of the forces she plays with are academic to her. Sure. What do you want to... So... holler if you need anything else.
Alright.
Did someone teach you to fight? Or is Ev...
So, we found a map to the garden. Now we see how accurate those ancient godless cartographers could possibly be. Not sure how helpful that map will be, really. There's probably a reason no one's been to the garden in centuries. That'll be cold comfort when everyone thinks I'm crazy for saying I've been there. I figure either it's a complete dud and there's nothing really there, or we all lose our minds the second we show up. Either way, was it worth it? Who knows?
Alright, let's see here.
I wish I was as convinced as you are. Thought of going to speak to a god on their turf? It doesn't make sense to me. I guess that's not my problem, really. My job is to keep you alive, whether you've got a god in your head or not.
Well, we do, so...
Don't do anything stupid, all right? Anyway. You already asked about Giada, so... You probably want to talk about Kai or Yardsley. Right. Yes, I do. Real strong Blessed Day opinions. I don't trust her any further than I could throw her, which honestly isn't that far. She actually goes down into these ruins on purpose, just to see what's down there, I guess? And now she's trying to lead us to the garden. Might as well be searching for WoW's wacky wagon of mysteries. Nah, I'm sure she knows what she's doing, but what if she doesn't? Ask her. They say this used to all be underwater until something happened that cracked open the ground and swallowed the seas. Makes sense to me. If you dig far enough, you'll find strange things like old fish bones that don't make sense in a place like this. I think that's why Thirdborn appeals to the Rowatayans so much. Like, there's an ancestral connection with what the land used to be. Or maybe they just like fishing off the coast. What do I know? Right. This might be good information for you, since I don't know if Adir has wastelands like this. Shatterscarp doesn't want to kill you, really, but it isn't interested in helping you survive either. The key here is water and shade. Cover your skin, or it'll be dried out in no time and you'll be as red as a Balrog's throat. You might be worried about saving water, but what you want to do is try not to sweat. Stay in shade as much as you can. And don't drink the water from the plants out here. They're all full of parasites and poisons. Getting sick out here is the worst. What do you need? What else is there? No idea. What you see out there is what you get. It gets cold out here at night. I always make a fire in camp, and no matter how hot it is during the day, I always keep a blanket. I like to camp on a hill or plateau if I can, because even the slightest bit of rain can cause a flash flood. You'd be surprised how many people drown in Shatterscarp. Nothing's prepared for rain out here, especially the land itself. Though if you don't drown, your water problems are pretty much solved, so there you go. What else is there? No, let's see. I collected a good amount of water before we left Emerald Stair. Sometimes that's the only way to have water here. We have enough to travel for a while, but if we get stuck out here, we are in big trouble. I also put jerky in my pack. Drinking water isn't enough. You'll need that salt, too. That's something most people forget. Pestler root is good when you're thirsty. It doesn't have any water in it, but makes you feel less thirsty when you chew it. It's not perfect, but it can get you through that extra distance before you can find more water. What else is there? No idea. Let's see. Most game is out at night around here. That's why I go hunting while everyone else is asleep. Mostly snakes, with a few larger beetles and rats. A lot of them burrow into the ground, so you can just go get them. Good news is that there aren't a lot of parasites here. Bad news is that's because most of the animals here are poisonous to eat. Avoid most of the organ meat. Cook everything else until it's basically ash, and you'll be just fine.
Okay.
What else is there? No idea. What you see out there is what you get. Let's see. Shatterscarp is a challenge even to me. But I never lost anyone out here. Closest I came was when the kid I was traveling with decided not to keep his mouth shut in Thirdborn. Poor kid. I had to pay half what he paid me just to keep a barkeep from smashing the kid's face in. The other half to leave town with him. There's a survival tip. Don't go mouthing off in Thirdborn. It takes a certain kind of madness to live out here on purpose. What else is there? No idea. What you see out there is what you get. Let's see. Right.
Alright.
Thanks for talking.
What do you got for us, Maurice?
Listen, that back there in the ruins, that was a lot. I know you passed 3 trials, but I'm not sure what that means exactly. I don't know. Maybe you're the chosen one now. Some kind of prophecy? You don't look that different to me. It's not that I didn't enjoy tromping around in the ancient death trap, getting bossed around by spirits and all that. But I really do hope this was the last time. That kind of humidity does terrible things to my beard. Anyway. Not before I've done some reading.
What do you got,
Let's
Maurice?
not do that again. Let's stay out of Archmage's domains from now on. Sure, we made it out alive, but that outcome felt out of my hands more than I'd like. I know. Sometimes you just have to charge into a wizard's domain and endure a parable about a village. Anyway, I'm glad to be out of there. Time to curl up with some jerky and a few swigs of Wodak. Anyway.
Wodak.
Until next time.
Wodak Black, am I right, Maurice?
Listening to Yardsley's thoughts about godless ruins is one thing. Bringing her along for the rest of the trip is something else. Well, don't you think it's a little convenient? You need to go somewhere no one ever goes, and here she is to show you the way. If she's read anything about the garden, it was written centuries ago. Obviously, things have changed since then. Best chance we found so far, sure. I suppose if you're on a wild goose chase, there are worse places to do it. I thought I'd give it a try. See how it feels? Yatsley's got you going in all sorts of abandoned ruins. Who knows what's down there? More questions, most likely. And spiders.
Alright.
You too.
This lady?
Can we talk a moment? I wanted to... How much do you really know? Among other things, Adra is a physical manifestation of a metaphysical phenomenon. A mineral that takes our souls from death to rebirth. We severed the Adra and Naku Kubel to slow down the Dream Scourge. But at what cost?
36 people's lives. Some being the Steel Garrote, so I feel like that's a win, right?
Still, I wish we had better options. The souls of the dead who go looking for a passage to the beyond will have nowhere to go. They'll be lost in darkness. Some will find their way to an Adra pillar, far from Shatterscarp. But others could wander this land for centuries. A watcher, maybe. It's a shame we haven't got one. Try as we might to help others, we won't always succeed. Even the dead can suffer the consequences of our actions. I just wish the world and its problems would leave us alone. Even for a moment. Give us time to focus on our mission. Ourselves.
Let's see, what can we do?
No, I haven't. And yes, I should know better. A good night's rest would fix my head, but can't fix the world we live in. Maybe it's fine if they're both broken. While I have your ear, can I ask you one more question? Something about Inquisitor Ludwig has been getting to me. She seemed eager to distinguish your Adiran loyalty from your nature as a godlike, as though the two are incompatible. She believes you can be loyal to your country or to your nature, but not both. Do you find that unusual? Indeed, it does. It's just... when you rejected Ludwig's offer, she wasn't surprised. As though she saw it coming. Ludwig clearly respects you, but I don't believe she trusts you. Anyway, that just had me thinking. Could be nothing, or could be something. Time will tell. Get some rest. You deserve a nap. For that matter, so do I. Despite everything that's happened, I'm so grateful to be working with Yatsli. In many ways, Quilici has been like a second father to me. But Yatsli, she's like my dirty aunt who's up to no good. Well, she's an expert in that field. So, what's on your mind? You know me. I'm afraid not. I've spent a little time in Dawnshore, but this place is a mystery to me. It's good to be somewhere different. Somewhere I can build new memories. Whenever I'm reminded of how big this island really is, it makes my problems feel smaller.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to work out a brand deal.
Oh, she was incredible. A
She
self-employed
would like the
researcher
magic
working
lady,
to
huh?
further her own interests, answering to no one. Not that I'm overlooking her arrogance or her disdain for the lives of others. What inspires me is her persistence. More importantly, she confirmed my suspicion. The living land sits atop a closed system of Adra. If nothing else, it's good to find someone who believes in your work. It's a little early to say for certain, but maybe I haven't completely wasted my time. I've been thinking, a closed system might explain a few things. Imagine souls passing through Adra. They die here and they're reborn here, over and over. After so many lifetimes, the Adra grows dense, full of life and wisdom, fear and pain, with nowhere to go. A quaint but accurate simplification. Such an environment would be rich with essence. Messy, but full of potential for something or someone to grow. Maybe that's how they started, in their most primordial form. Anyway, it's just a theory. Don't quote me on it. What do you... The better question is, can I still be an Animancer? Could I even make a difference?
What kind of question
as long
is that,
as
lady?
Fior Messi is safe, the living lands will have Animancers, whether or not I am one of them.
Come on.
And then there's the Dream Scourge, unraveling civilization as we know it. I don't know where that leaves me. The work my parents started may have no end in sight. We don't even know if the living lands can be tamed politically, much less spiritually.
Yeah.
All of my discoveries have led to dead ends. Where
At
then
least
do
you
I
didn't
turn?
get turned into a plant
All I
person
know
like
for
your
certain
parents,
is
though,
that
right?
I've been going about this the wrong way. I should be an animancer for the right reason. With the Dream Scourge, I haven't got one. Thank you for believing in me, whether or not I believe in myself. Anyone in particular? I warn you, I'm not the best judge of first... Of course, she's brilliant, open to anything, and sees the world as she wants it to be. Yatsley gave me my first glass of wine, and the courage to approach a special someone. We have a lot of catching up to do. No one to get jealous over.
Oh, we're jealous, baby.
To call it a relationship would be an insult to the word. But it was fun while it lasted. Animancy is the study of life. Unfortunately, we get so busy that we forget to live. So a little roll in the hay is good for the soul. Yatsley taught me that. Well, not the part about rolling in the hay. That was my idea, and I don't recommend it. Indeed, old friends. When they died, Yatsley protected me. Made sure I had one consistent person in my life. I think that's why she gave me that glass of wine. Why she encouraged me to live my life to the fullest. She was making sure I hit all the milestones I could have missed. Now that she's traveling with us, maybe she can teach you a thing or two. I think that covers everyone. And if my good opinion changes, you'll be the first to hear about it. I'll tell you whatever I know. You want to... What's...
Well, that's that.
You too. Katoa and Hayako. An interesting pair. Despite their clumsy methods, they were just defending their community. I'm grateful that you showed restraint. That is more understanding than most of your countrymen. I only bring it up because people are growing wary of your empire. With good reason. When they take their anger out on you, don't judge them too harshly. We all make mistakes. Anyway, just wanted to get that off my chest. Annie... Not before I've done some reading. When I joined you, I thought we'd be exploring the intersection of the physical and the spiritual, not bickering over sulfur. Yet here we are. Thanks to you, Thirdborn will have all the ammunition they need to defend themselves. In theory. Agreed. What matters is it's theirs, and will remain so. At the end of the day, bullets are of limited use against the Dream Scourge. And it'll take more than gunpowder to wrest the living lands out of your empire's clutches. Still, maybe a little gunpowder is better than none at all.
Yeah, like, what do you want to do? Throw
what do
rocks
I
at
know?
them?
I'm an animancer,
Come on, man.
not a strategist. You too.
Envoy, we need to discuss what you did in the ruins. I just hope we made the right decision.
Right?
Those ruins are priceless, and I truly look forward to exploring them again in the future, but I don't know that I'll ever truly accept what we did. What I did. Usually, I know the right answer. It's obvious. Here, though. I'll drink to that, dear. Things have been unreal. We spoke to actual ancient Akedans in the ruins.
Yes, we
I
did.
was able to ask questions and get answers. True. Though switching it up might be more confusing to those not in the know. I'll figure that conundrum out before my research gets published. But to go through the trials ourselves? Oh, could we be any luckier? I can't imagine what it was like to grow up a godlike with no god. I'm glad you got answers, sweetheart. Well, I have to start writing this all down before I forget. But do return if you think of any other juicy details. We've been traveling together for a little while. I just have to know. Did you purposefully choose such colorful company, or is that just what you attract naturally? I mean, I'm very clearly a delight, so it's obvious why you let me stick around. I'd seen Kai around once or twice, and always thought he was charming enough. He's got a sharp tongue, though. Makes me like him even more. And Marius. I don't know what's lurking in him, but I do think he should speak to someone on it. If he reaches out, do try, will you? As for Giada, well, clearly Giada is a gem. As for me, well, I'm just as riveting as you, but the boys are giving me a run for my money.
Uh-huh.
You do strike me as a people person. Tell me, do you get along with all you meet? So, you'll be swarmed by well-wishers then, upon arriving home?
Indeed.
And some very angry spouses, I imagine. And here I thought I had a wild youth exploring ruins. You might be putting me to shame, dearie. Why do you think Quilici and I went to Naku Tedek in the first place?
Oh,
of
she's
course,
boinking in the
others were
ruins.
less willing. Something about them being gross and terrifying. I just think it adds to the excitement. Well, you've satisfied my curiosity. You know, Envoy, we've traveled enough that I think I've gotten a handle on your style. Style of fighting, I mean. Your fashion sense is more opaque. But listening to your incantations, they could use some tightening up. I could probably teach you a thing or two, if you're up for it. What do you say?
Alright. That's gotta be perception, and that's gotta be intelligence, right? So we want perception.
Of course, darling. Easy as pie.
Give us +2 perception.
What? Out of breath already? Talk to one of the boys. See if they can help with your stamina, dear. Well, I've taught you all I can. Let's hope you put it to good use. Even though I can't use them anymore.
+2 perception.
Loath
We were
to
right.
give away my perfume.
Nice. 10% max range on the pistol.
Why would you have to give them away?
That was worth it.
I've been trying to sort my thoughts since we left her domain. We met Ringrim. The Ringrim. Master illusionist of the Circle of Archmagi. And we impressed her. She even offered to make me her apprentice. As smart as you are, Envoy, I sometimes forget that you are still a layperson. It doesn't feel real, but it is. Oh, Huntress titties. What am I going to do? If I take the apprenticeship, I'll have to leave Quilici and Fjord. And what about my study of the Godless? I've spent my whole life with them. Oh, you even learned their proper name. I can't believe you listened. You'll make me cry at this rate. I'm not a kid anymore. I can't do everything all at once. There are only 26 hours in a day. I love my life as it is now. Exploring
The
as I
day's
wish,
longer
and
here or
coming home to
something?
open arms and a warm bed. I don't want to give that up. But this is something I never even dreamed of. But it's big. It won't leave room for much else. And I'm too old to... Oh, Envoy, what would you do? I know. That's the whole issue. I've learned magic through my own means, reading and studying on my own. How much more could I learn with her? And how much faster? Within a fortnight, I could rule the world.
Indeed.
Yatsli, you could do all that on your own.
Thank you, dearie. I can't promise I'll act on it, but I really appreciate the advice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to write a letter to Quilici. He'll never believe me. I wish we could have done more for them. Capo and Chico, I mean. But if I were in his shoes, I hope I'd make the same choice. Though I'd like to pick a more fun way to die. Of course. Even when it's expected, or even preferable, it's always a tragedy.
Always.
I can only hope that at the end I have some control over things. That I can go out as Yatsli. And don't you forget it. But it gives you something to think about. I mean, not everyone gets to come back like you did, Envoy.
Right?
Well, that's all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Unless there's something else you want to chat about? How can I help, darling? Well, I suppose you've earned that much. And I do enjoy rewarding tenacity. Though between your dreams and mine, it's a wonder anyone gets any sleep around here. You remember that I nearly burned my family home down when I was young? It was an accident, and I paid for it. My parents refused to buy me more spellbooks for years. Well, shortly after all that fuss, the dream began. It started at first with a fire. Just flames, crackling,
She have a
and
god inside
feeling
her
of
head
safety.
too, or what?
I thought it was a little weird, but nice. But then the dream kept coming back, night after night. I learned more every time. I saw that it was a fire in a hearth. And that hearth was in an old library. I assumed it was a library, at least, to explain why there were so many tablets lining the walls. Oh, everything from dry historical recountings to treatises on agricultural techniques.
She working
No
in her sleep
romances,
too?
though. Whoever filled the library must have been allergic to them. No, never actively. I had read them all previously, if that makes any sense. That's actually how I learned the Akedan language, just woke up with that knowledge. Which is very useful when you can find no written records. In the library, there's just one person, but they're wearing a hood, so I never see their face. They do the same thing every night. They curl up in a chair by the fire, hold a tablet to their chest, and then the fear comes. The paralyzing, all-encompassing fear of something. A low, deep banging starts, and it rattles through your bones and shakes you to your core.
Well, damn.
And it replaces the beat of your heart with this droning on and on and on until you forget every other sound you've ever heard.
A beat. Steel feet on the shore. They come by night.
And then, as it just gets louder and louder, and right before it gets there, I wake up.
You've been listening to too many of Giada's ghost stories.
And let me tell you, waking up in a cold sweat does nothing for my fur. It's strange. I've not told many of the details of my dream. I suppose I must like you quite a bit, Envoy. Don't let it inflate your ego too much. I suppose we should try and get some rest now. I'll have some tea ready for when we awaken later. You think those Adirans were onto something? Or were they onto something before you ended their studies? Do you think they could have cured the Dream Scourge? You may be right. Of course, now we'll never know. I just hope we made the right decision. I suppose you're right. But we missed an opportunity to learn more. And we won't get such a chance again. I hate to see it slip through our fingers. Had you left them to their own devices, who knows what we would have gained. A cure might sound far-fetched, but what if they found treatments for the Dream Scourge? And even other ailments? But our loss, I suppose. Well, that's all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Unless there's something else you want to chat about? How can I help, darling? These sudden changes in climate always mess with my coiffure.
What the hell
Does
is
Adir have good
coiffure?
fur maintenance products? Do you have a contact for that? Unfortunately, your clumsy countrymen ruined my entire stock of ointments when they were trying to burn my house down. And I'll remember that comment. Truly, just a good long brushing through all my fur alone would do wonders. I've got some time before we see Quilici again, at least. It'll give me time to find something to remind him of what he's missing. Oh, of course, darling. He just enjoys the fruits of my labor more often than most, and I'd hate to disappoint. Quilici and I got used to the stairs early on. Thankfully, at least in Fjord, those stopped eventually. After 30 years, it's hard to still be surprised by us just drinking at the Magpie. Oh, very true. But sometimes you just want a nice mug of tea. Also, when Giada was young, her parents preferred us taking her to the Magpie for dinner. All things considered, it's hard to complain about my life in Fjord.
Well, what are you gonna do, right?
You're too sweet. As much as I enjoy our little chats, dearie, we should really get going. Oh, but if you do end up finding any liniments, be sure to help a girl out. Careful what you wish. So, the Godless, or the Akita, as they called themselves, were the original folks who lived in
Now
the
here's
living
the
land.
real lowdown.
They arrived on the shores of a new land and settled there, living with the land instead of trying to tame it. You sound certain. Is this something Sabadal told you? Well, they would have been there, wouldn't they? That means I was right. Well, was there ever any doubt? The Godless are so singular. Their art and architecture, you never see it in Rawatai or Ishamatul or, well, Adir. But in their artwork, they reference escaping, fleeing, seeking refuge. So they must have come from somewhere. My guess, they originally came from Yesua. Yesua, a continent, cut off from the rest of the world, hidden by eternal storms. One of the 3 hubs of the Angwithan Empire.
Jesus.
10 years ago, you could say it wasn't real, that it was a dream. But they said the same of Ukaiso. Suddenly, the appearance of a mythical land doesn't seem so implausible. From what I can glean, the Godless were staunchly against the gods, hence their name. There are even some not-so-kind murals of the gods. It seems like the Godless really took their anti-theism seriously. But no one knew that until your trip to Nakukubel, hence the name Godless. Now that we know that Sabadal exists, it changes everything we thought we knew about the Akita.
Does it change everything,
I knew
though?
following you was a good idea. It might have shaken my research to its core, but that's what makes it fun. Well, I think we've covered everything, don't you? Rather, as much as I think you'll withstand. Hope you enjoyed talking about this as much as I did, dearie. How can I help, darling? Careful what you... So, the Godless, they arrived... Well, that's a bit harder to explain. The Godless are so singular. Their art and architecture, you never see it in Rawatai or Ishamatul or, well, Adir. But in their artwork, they reference escaping, fleeing, seeking refuge. So they must have come from somewhere. My guess, they yes, let me sum. Yesua, a continent, cut off from the rest of... 10 years ago, you could say it wasn't real, that it was a dream. Suddenly, the appearance of a mythical land. That one might stay in your dreams, there was some kind of schism, an ideological one. From what I can glean, the Godless were staunchly against the god. There are even... Almost like I've dreamt about the Akita. Rather, as much as I think you'll... Hope you enjoyed talking about this. How can I help? Careful, but... So, they arrived... Well, it's an educated guess. A theory based on a lifetime of study. The Godless are so singular. Their art and architecture. My guess... Yes.
Alright.
I know. Well, I think we... Rather, hope you enjoy... How... Don't let the bed bugs bite, dearie.
Alright, so that's everybody. Let's check out the Rengrim's domain, see if that door's open now. That would be cool. And then we gotta find these 2 parts of the totem. Exit here with the ladies. Scoop. Scoop. And slide. That was cool. What have we here? What have we here? We've got stuff. Yeah, we do. We got stuff. How about you?
And off we go.
Boom. What's up, Miss Lady?
Are you still here? Do go away. I have reading to do.
How do we open this door? Man, I was really hoping that this door would open. Maybe we do have to come back. Oh, oh well. Worth the shot. Let's check which totems we're missing.
I'll wager those artifacts you found fit together somehow. Let's have a closer look at camp.
Let's go here. Hey, we got it.
I'll wager those artifacts you found fit together somehow. Let's have a closer look at camp.
Here.
Cannot be a god? This is preposterous.
Yes, but have you seen what has passed before? The most preposterous things are always true. A god unbound to us. What does it feel? What does it think? It fascinates us.
I bet it does.
It is not one of us. We must be sure of its intent.
Intent. Action. We do not hear a melody in this god's motives. It is a neophyte, plinking how it will.
Am I to believe it is ignorant of its power?
Even a child at play steps on ants in the garden.
Just this once, I wish you would make sense.
Will it create or destroy? It thrills us.
If we cannot quantify this god, we cannot be sure that it will not challenge us one day.
Carry before the lunge, then.
I will not act now, but I will watch. Wait. I will not brook another Wodika, from outside or within.
Hurts. I could roast a Balrog on the energy coming off this thing.
Chance and damage reduction. Nope. Still using the
There's my favorite. Always a...
nothing here. Let's go to Dawn Shore. go here. Anything?
Careful. So, they are... Set. Help you. How? Don't mind if I do.
Exit here. Take her out, bring him in. And let's go check out the Emperor. Or Ambassador, rather. See what they've got to say. We're on patrol. We're on patrol. And ka-chow.
Envoy, a pleasure.
Oh, you got nothing for us either. Alright. Let's go do Kai's thing.
Gods. You... Do you know what kind of position you've put us?
I'm sure the Steel Garrote would kill everyone, even if you were lacking in...
An implication from the Inquisitor is as good as an edict as far as I'm... I have nothing more to say, Envoy. Please, leave...
You, sir, are a meanie head. Here's the nearest one. Drop you off, pick you up. Sit here, drop you off, pick you up, confirm. Duh. Jesus.
I must have done 100. Hundred shifts on those watchtowers. Never saw so much third-born blood under them.
We're coming, Tama. Don't you die on us a second time.
Still remember the first time I saw these dunes. In the heat haze, they looked just like waves. Thomas Memorial. Never thought anything could contain that man, you know? That booming laugh, that bottomless appetite, boundless energy. Now he's under a pile of rocks. To be alone? With my thoughts? Oh. Envoy, that's the last thing I want. This is where you're supposed to distract me. Lighten the mood with a wisecrack or something. trying. I thought I was doing a pretty good job. There's something I didn't tell you about Tama's death. Remember how I noticed he'd lost his badge? I went out. I told him I was going to go find it. He told me to stay. I said I'd be right back. I walked away, Envoy, and I kept walking. Not since returning with you.
Holy shit,
Couldn't imagine
dude.
anyone would be too happy to see
You
me
can't
after
fucking do that.
everything. Now you know why I never went back to his house in Emerald Stair. Why I never came back to Thirdborn. At least I'm in good company. The truth is, traveling with you and Marius, getting to know Giada, Yahtzee, it's felt easy. Too easy. Okay, not that part. But I've come to trust your way of handling those threats when we face them. You're
Nice.
clear-headed. You have your priorities in line. I find myself ready to follow you, and that worries me. I'm not a joiner. I'm good for a skirmish, some war stories, a few drinks, but I'm not someone you keep around. Oh, come on. You sniffed out the plot to raise Fjord and you stopped it. But me? I let people down. I let them down when they're counting on me most. Or maybe I learned plenty. I know what I am. I'm finally facing it. But he's not here, and that is because of me. I'm finally owning that. What? No, I didn't. He died pulling my ass out of the fire, and I still let him face it alone. How can I remember him without remembering that? I fucked up. I did. I let him down, and he deserved better. It doesn't change anything, but it feels right to say it, like I'm putting down a weight after carrying it too long. I never realized I'd let my failure changed the way I remembered him. One of the things I loved about Tama was how he gave us all a fresh start. No matter where we'd come from or what we'd done. I drifted to Paradise, but never thought about where I'd go from this. Tama always talked about the places he hoped to see. The islands of Deadfire, the tundras of Nasitok, the ancient cities of Old Valia. Maybe I ought to see some of those places for us both. As a traveler, not a soldier. Once we've found the garden and dealt with the steel garrote. One way to find out, isn't there? I've got some things to sort out, but it feels good to have something to look forward to.
All right. Let's do one more thing at camp and see if he's still there with his check mark or question mark or whatever. Yep.
Listen, thank you for visiting Tama's memorial with me. I didn't think I'd ever trust someone the way I trusted him, but both of you have a clarity of purpose I've never seen in anyone else. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Like I just woke up with a hangover. Every feeling, every memory I tried to keep a lid on is sloshing around, and I'm struggling to keep my balance. But I'm also remembering moments I hadn't let myself think on in a long time. Feeling a warmth I couldn't get close to. Yeah, after I ride out the worst of it.
We think of grief as a burden, as something to be conquered. After a while, it gets to be so familiar, it's almost a source of comfort.
I wish this were another burden to conquer. That would feel easier. It's hard to imagine grief ever being a comfort, but I'll have to take your word for it.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Thanks. I'll get there. And thank you for seeing this through with me. Was there something else?
That's it.
Shake the sand out of your bedroll before you settle in.
Cool beans.
Thank you for telling us about Tama. For what it's worth, I don't think less of you.
This one next.
Dealing with grief, it's never easy.
I've lost people before. You're right.
Exit here. Damn it, wrong people.
Yeah.
What a way for the tower to fall, huh? Hey. There's something up there. This guy again. I don't know how to get that up. It's gonna be the big mystery of Avowed. How do I get that guy's loot?
Over here. I've got supplies for sale.
Glad we got to see her again. So there was a new merchant up here?
Watch your back out here, traveler. Temerity sent word. She said you can go. I'm sorry, Envoy. I don't have much more to say. You were responsible for all this death. But I hope you don't end up the same way, too.
Thanks, dude. Alright, well, that will do it. Boom. catch you guys next time when we explore Galwain's Tusks. This has been Yarbeard playing Avowed on Xbox Game Pass. Thank you for checking us out. Be sure to drop a follow, and if not, hey, we'll earn that follow.